Michal, it's a point I said to you before, and it's a point I believe very strongly in. In your manifesto, you say how you want to get rid of the fees for students who are getting bullied to change rooms.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, it's my personal opinion, and it's something I was brought up with the whole of my life, that when students are getting bullied, like maybe it was different, like, I don't know, it's different in your, like, whatever you came from, but when students are bullied, they don't get... Yeah, my mother's from Donegal, and I don't know, like, my mother's from Donegal, so I know well, but when students are getting bullied, it's not down to them to get punished and moved. If you're getting bullied, the person who's bullying you in that house needs to be moved. I know you said to me earlier on that it's about culture, a culture change. Like for some students, like international students coming, it's a different culture. But I'm talking about the students who are getting bullied.
Yeah, do you want to word the question? Which way are you wording the question?
I'm wording the question is,
yeah.
Do you believe that students who are getting bullied should move because they are getting bullied, because of somebody else's, an injustice done upon them? Do you believe it's down to them to move?
No, and I do believe that it is an issue at the moment, that if people want to move house due to, like, there is no policy there at the moment for people who want to move house because they're feeling like threatened, maybe they're being bullied, maybe it's just a simple matter of culture shock. They don't like, maybe they're from a non-drinking culture and they're living with a house of Irish students who are drinking excessively. Maybe they're just not comfortable living in that house. So what I'm saying is, I want to make a policy change so that students who are in the unfortunate circumstance that they do want to move out of the house do not need to pay the current fee. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I still like it's worded in your manifesto. Mira will create a policy for students in need, where students unhappy, bullied, or suffering culture shock can be moved.
Yeah. So as the policy says, yeah, I'm going to create a policy for students in need. So, like, say if you're just completely unhappy in the house, like, say you live with 3 sloppy housemates, and you just, like, it's making you depressed, like, it's making you really down. You're just really unhappy with the place you live, which is so important to students' welfare. Is like, you need to be comfortable in your own home. What I'm saying is, I want to remove all financial barriers to people having to this is something that I feel real passionately about. Like, I want to remove all financial barriers to people not being comfortable in their own home, or people who are feeling like...
You said that perfectly there now.
Yeah.
And you said it exactly. Your own home. That is their home that they moved into. They should not have to move because of other people's sloppiness. Because of other people...
What happens if you're unhappy with your current housemates?
And you feel pressurised by them because of the things they're doing. It's up to us. It's their own home. We should be lobbying residences to help these people, to bring in more stringent measures to make sure that people aren't getting bullied, people aren't put under pressure.
I think at the moment, before we can even look at that, I think at the moment we need to start at the basics and bring in policies where students, we need to remove the financial barrier.
So they can get pressurised out of
No, we need to remove the financial barriers. There is no financial obligations. There is nothing financially constraining you from staying within your own home, and that's something that I feel so passionate about.
There's nothing there from staying within their own home. If I'm living in House 18 in Belgrove, which I did last year, it was a nice house, and my housemates are at me, they're drinking every night, I can't get any sleep, I'm under pressure, I've a load of work to do. Okay, so then I'm like, the option is, oh well, yeah, I have to move now, even though all my stuff's moved in. It took me like literally a week, 2 weeks just to get my stuff in. You know, everyone knows, I say all the students in UC know that lived on res, know exactly, you get in your own mould in your own house, you know where everything is, you know how your house works. And then for you to say that they...
If you feel so passionate about this, why haven't you made this a policy in your own manifesto? Why haven't you made a policy, whereas as I'm saying, like, you can't just skip this simple policy that removes financial barriers to people being trapped within their home, being trapped in an environment that they're uncomfortable. This could cause students to become depressed. Like, this is so important to your mental health, is being happy in your home. And like, this is something that we do study in social work. Whereas sometimes you might need to move from the environment which is creating the threatening circumstances and move out for the benefit of your own welfare. And like, I can't even like. I've lived in places that I've been uncomfortable in the past, so I know all about this firsthand. And I've talked to a lot of people on res who have experienced this firsthand.
The reason this is in my manifesto is, for one simple thing, it's the bread and butter of a welfare officer. I shouldn't have to put this in the manifesto, but this is what's being done. the welfare officers previously have
No,
helped them.
there isn't. There is not. This policy hasn't been created, and this is why it's in my manifesto. Because I will be creating this policy. This isn't being done.
I don't
this
believe in this
policy.
I don't believe in this
So
policy.
you want to keep a constraint. You want to keep the current
I
fee
want
that are
to
keeping students
make
in their
sure
houses.
that I
So
want
you
to make
want
sure
to keep the fee.
students who are bullying other students do not deserve to have a free constraint so they can move
Why
out.
haven't you said this in your manifesto?
Because
there is
this
no
is
policy
just bread
for
and
the
butter
moment. Why do
to
we
a
not?
welfare officer.
It isn't.
We
there is no
I
policy
can't,
at the moment.
Look, I could go through my manifesto. I could write out everything that should be done. Like the disability, you have to make sure that work with DSS to make sure everywhere is
there is no policy here at the moment.
That has to be done anyway. That isn't something that shouldn't be put down.
I'm flagging this as an issue. This hasn't been done in the last previous years. This is a new policy that I plan on implementing. This is a new policy that I plan on using my experience, having worked as a residence rep for the Students' Union, from having my close working relationship with UCD residents. This is one that I passionately
believe we all
that I can bring in.
Anyone who's lived in res has as much experience as anyone with res, because that was our home. And I agree with you, it was your home before.
Yeah. I lived in Belgrade 14, I lived in a fantastic apartment.
Yeah, like, that's a place where literally I got my love for UCD, was in Belgrade.
And me too,
yeah,
back the year before you came in.
Yeah, that was it, like. And I want to make sure that this isn't leaving it open so students could make decisions like, if you're under pressure, it's going to be very easy to say nothing about it then. Say nothing about it. What happens to the next person that moves in there? I think a system could be brought in that helps these students even more.
Then you should have said that in your manifesto instead of making promises such as like the weekly bus service, which, as to my knowledge, is already going to be gone. And as well,
I think that was the last question.
Yeah, that was the last
question.
Yeah, you did. And as well as another point in your accommodation section, such as the welfare meals, which is already going to be brought in. I wanted to focus on new policies that aren't being brought in.
And I want to focus on this question.
Yeah,
and I want you
certainly.
to answer this question.
Yeah.
Do you believe that students who are being bullied should have to move? I know look, there shouldn't be any financial constraints.
You're picking out a
quote where students unhappy, bullied or suffering from culture shock, etc. can be moved. They shouldn't have to move.
What I believe, and this is what you're asking me, what I believe that there should be no financial barrier to students who are uncomfortable living in their home due to the environment in the house, and I want to remove that financial barrier.
When you say at the end of your manifesto that you will expect to be acting professionally 100% for the job, for the role.
Yeah.
What do you think? What does that entail?
Just acting in a very professional manner and respecting confidentiality, because as well, same as yourself, we both have large networks of friends and peers in all years and all walks of life in UCD, and they will be coming to us next year with problems, with financial issues.
It would be up to us to
with financial issues and with maybe even with personal issues, with mental issues. I'm just saying that I'm just reassuring them, I guess, in a line, just saying if you do come to me, I will be treating that with the utmost respect.
Have you a specific reason for asking this question?
No, I was just asking the question, and
okay,
when it's out tomorrow,
you would behave in the same manner.
Oh, of course I would. There'd be no precedence for me to not.
Yeah, sure. In your manifesto, you say you mentioned the current UCD SU app. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have.
I've actually spoke to Brendan Lacey, who was developing that, but they've scrapped the idea now. So then I've gone on my own. And I've contacted 3 different companies, and I've got the best price for a welfare app, which would be off a company called Mobify.
And how much would it cost?
It would be €380. And if the union felt that it would be too expensive, I'd be full and willing to fund that myself.
And what way do you envision that this app would be
What the app is, with the app, apps are usually written this is going to sound a bit like mumbo jumbo to a lot of people. They're written in HTML.
Yeah.
That's an app. So what we would be doing is when you download the app off the website, it's going to cache a lot of stuff in your phone.
Yeah, but basically, what I'm trying to ask is what particular services are people going to get
with the app? Alright, that's great.
Yeah.
You're going to have the ability to go onto my calendar.
Yeah.
And you'll see when I'm available and when I'm not available. So this is going to it won't fully battle it, but it'll try to battle the point where people won't have to wait as much outside. Because when I'm busy, my calendar will say so. So people won't come down. If I'm busy at 1 o'clock, they won't come down. They'll try not to come down at 1. Because maybe a lot of people don't feel comfortable sitting outside the office of the welfare officer, which is fully acceptable to each individual person. Secondly, what it would do is give frequently asked questions. It would answer those questions. Just simple things like, where can I get condoms? Where is the next support group for body-wise? That sort of things. You know, it's going to have those frequently asked questions, and those questions will be fully updatable from me from the mainframe of the app. It's simply just going to be an ability for students to link themselves to the welfare officer and welfare in whole. So when they need help from welfare and they can't get down, they can go on the app, they can get the questions.
There is currently no use of the issue. No, I just want to clear
that.
Just the word not the manifesto, just said that using the current.
Because at the time of writing the manifesto there was supposed to be an SU app, but sadly there isn't, so I had to go down my own
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago I was told there was.
Oh, okay.
And then I was told that there wasn't.
So it's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, but there will be, the welfare app is fully sustained.
Yeah, and then, do you want to go back?
No, it's grand, we can hit me with another one.
Yeah, sure, then just the use of the SU app. Like, do you really think that, like, some aspects of it, like, would really, like, resonate? Like, I'm going to look for financial assistance on my smartphone, app, or...
What you're going to do, so you're saying that you won't be looking for financial assistance on your they won't have a smartphone. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like does it really resonate?
No, but it's going to
target service users.
It's going, at this day and age, it targets students. Like, not all students can afford a smartphone. I understand that. I understand that fully. But if this app helps one person or 20 people, that's 20 more people that are helped. 20 more people on their own. 20 more people who are sitting beside a friend who has a smartphone. But actually, you go on the welfare app there and just see, when is the phone closing? When's student assistant phone closing? And they can go on, find that out, done. It's simple. That's what I want to be there for, to make welfare more accessible to all students.
Do you have a question on that?
I don't really.
Any other questions we have?
Yeah, but like, sure, he's nearly doing all the talking now. Yeah, sure. I just ended just.
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
What percentage of UCD students are currently on maintenance grants?
Sorry, I don't know.
Either of you do. Either of you know that? Would that not be important for a welfare officer?
I think that's 100% important, especially with the new system that's being brought in. At the moment, I don't know the exact figures, and I apologise for that.
Yeah, I understand nationally that it's just over 50% students are on the maintenance grant. Now, I don't know if it would be a matter of confidentiality of, like, as to how many the exact breakdown of UCD students. It's not. Okay.
Like, if I was elected, and even when I leave this office, I'll make it my duty to find out that. It's one thing that I know it's a lot of students because I'm affected by it myself, but I don't have the exact figure, and for that I apologise to everyone.
Is there any final?
Yeah, sure. Just on the point of the loyalty card you mentioned, like getting buying 4 meals, getting one free. Like, have you done the costings of that? I don't know.
Yeah, I've contacted I've been talking to the restaurant, and when it comes out with the costings, isn't in our.
Oh, I know.
It wouldn't be on us. So
but
if they agree,
be willing to.
Yeah, he was fully willing.
He's fully willing.
Yeah, he said
one meal a week.
No,
so
see,
like
it doesn't
20% of cut. Like the way you worded it in your manifesto is buying 4 meals and getting one for free.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and he said that he was 100%.
Yeah.
So just on other scales, you mentioned like the difference between students like going hungry and non-hungry. Do you not find the whole concept of like food vouchers and all not being stigmatizing towards students having to go towards like maybe a food outlet and using food vouchers?
I don't think so at all.
No, well, because one of the things that I feel passionately about, like, because we study this a lot in social work, is the whole kind of ideology of stigma, and one thing that I really want to see doing is that through things like the Calmore scheme where free meals are given out, what I really want to do is put it into the U-card system. So
I believe that's you're saying to me about things that are being brought in. That's being brought in, Leon.
Oh, I understand, but what I want to say is that in your manifesto you mentioned that you want to keep it to food vouchers, whereas I want to move towards the U-card scheme, so students can actually get their food through U-cards, and for whenever they're going to pay for their.
You want to bring in a scheme where I could go to the supermarket and use my U-card.
No, one moment please. Under this Calmore scheme, they're talking about giving away free meals, and what I'm saying, Enda, is that whenever they're going up to pay, they're not holding a voucher, which might be stigmatizing, and someone might look and say like, oh, so and so can't even afford food. What I'm saying is that they'll be using their U-card system, and then it won't be any difference from them or any other students.
Michal, have you read my point about food vouchers funny.
No, I was just.
No, but I'm just wondering, have you? Because do you know that it's not to be used within UCD?
Okay, so you're talking about
Yeah,
they weren't modeled upon the LYT.
LYT, yeah, exactly, because the way I've been talking to the welfare officer in with LYT, and it works. They use it in conjunction with Duns. So I think that this is going to help students even more. Do you feel stigmatised when you use your Tesco vouchers that you get out in the post?
No, sorry. The way I had to understand again.
Yeah, it says in major retail. If you read my if you took the time to read the point, you would have seen that instead of just jumping in and making a accusation like that it would be used here. It says in major retail outlets. So just next time, if you just read the point, it'd be grand. Thanks.